Welcome back. You're with us here on Taking Stock. Ashwani Gujral now joins in with his view for next week. Ashwani, thanks very much. How would you sort of look at today's close, and what is your view? Where are we headed in the coming week?
Well, first of all, let me say I'm impressed with your technical skills. But important bit to note is that you should know how to use things. Whenever in a bull market you see breakdowns, often you get shorts involved because as they say, people are lakir ka fakir. They know, but they don't know how to use it, and that's what happened. And the market turned viciously and sharply. This is the best of the rally that I have seen from 8,000, and chances are you will get your upper end of the channel. So 10,000 should come in sooner than people expect, because the more it goes up, the more people will have left out feeling, the more they will throw in the towel, the more the report writers will say it's expensive. So that's how life and markets work out. My sense is that this market is getting re-rated because of all this reform that you are seeing. All this things getting above board, GST expanding tax base, etc. I think it's something else other than earnings. We'll keep cribbing about earnings, and finally the market will continue to move higher.
Yes, Ashwani, but that skepticism, whether it's surrounding earnings or valuations being too expensive, all that just helps, the markets move up. But walk us through the trades that you're recommending for next week and the reason for that.
See, clearly, I think almost all stocks are looking good because all of them have corrected. I have chosen stocks which haven't corrected a whole lot, but are continuing to see fresh highs. So Bajaj Finance has turned around strongly. It moved up sharply even today. So in the next few days, we should expect targets of 1450. Tata Steel, which actually held on to its 10% gains post the earnings, that has moved up sharply. We should see 550 in the next few days. And also Repco Home Finance in the latter half of today, Home Finance came back. So that is a buy, and we should look for targets of 825 in the next few sessions.
All right, Ashwani, thanks very much. We have some queries coming our way, and we're going to pose these to Ashwani for his responses. So the first one is coming in from Saureen, who's written to us on Twitter with a query on ITC. She has 200 shares of the stock, which she bought at about 270 rupees, and she wants to know if she should hold or sell the stock. Ashwani?
See, FMCG as a group and ITC in particular, they are both moving strongly. My sense is, all stocks have some macro trigger, and once that trigger happens, stocks move up regardless of earnings, etc., because that changes the scenario where the stock or the company operates. I think taxation is a major issue for ITC, and once that gets out of the way, it kind of re-rates. So for the moment, keep a 270 type of stop, and I won't be surprised if you get 325 and even 360 in the days and weeks to come.
Okay, so ITC headed higher, 325 or perhaps even 360. Let's get on with the next query. Srinivas has written to us. His query is on HPCL. She holds 100 shares of the stock, bought at a price of 530. So should she hold on to it or sell it? Ashwani?
Well, he's got a very good price. So now basically that becomes a kind of a trailing stop. And given the size of the move today, I won't be surprised if you get 625 to 650 on HPCL.
Okay, then.
All our viewer queries are pretty rich, man. They're buying like 200 shares of ITC, an investment of what, 5 lakh thereabout in HPCL. So rich people, man.
I think the next one is ONGC, which is coming our way. So this is Khemraj Thakur, who's written to us with a query on ONGC. 100 shares of the stock at 185 rupees per share. Ashwani, what should Khemraj do?
See, ONGC is a big dog. I mean, for years it does nothing. When it goes up, there is some divestment which, comes to the plate. And as you can see, it's still not making money. Given the way Reliance has corrected and moved up today, I would move over to a Reliance. I don't think ONGC has much going for it.
Okay. Since you spoke about switching to Reliance Industries, it showed signs of a comeback in Friday's trade. What would be the key levels that you're looking at?
See, now basically 1290, 1300 is a decent stop. I won't be surprised if it retests its previous highs about 1450.
Ashwani, thank you very much for that, and we'll see you next week on Monday. With that, it's time for us to wrap up this edition of Taking Stock. Thanks very much for watching. But before we go, we leave you with some market opinion we've heard through the course of this week.
There are sectors in the Indian market that are significant, such as IT and healthcare, where there isn't a particularly good trend at this point. We've had relatively aggressive policy from the Reserve Bank of India. The market knows about it, knows that there's a resolution in place, and is looking forward to an environment where you get a better level of corporate confidence in India, leading to an acceleration in corporate loan growth. You can then combine that with strong consumer lending and an environment that looks pretty good for the bigger banks post-demonetization. And India's financials to us look like a nice high secular growth story.
It seems like on the India front, the earnings have turned a corner. The economic underpinnings look good. The global backdrop is better, and India backdrop is better. So I think all of those are good for the market.
If the bull market continues, the next leg of the rally would be lower quality companies, poorer management teams, weaker balance sheets. Those sorts of stocks could start flying now.
We only like the private banks. We continue. I mean, I look at those figures from the PSU banks and wonder, how they're going to survive actually. So it just gets from bad to worse for the PSU banks. So I would just stick with the private banks. I don't think there's any need to look down at anything else at this stage.